Okay, I'm gonna do a leak down test on the 302, and I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna do it. I've never done it before. We'll see what happens. So first of all, as you know, I've been cleaning up my shop. So I went and found all these compression. I got a leak down tester here. I got a compression tester here, a kit. I got one here. I tried using this thing where you just put it in and hold it against the spark plug hole. That's useless. And then I had the leak down tester, which I'm going to use, but I didn't have the right end. But I figured out that I could take the end out of this kit. These are adapters. And put it on here. I got this at a pawn shop a long time ago. So that leads up to this. I found this article. I think it's in the book, but anyway, what it says is, I'll explain it. So I'm going to put this on the pulley of the crankshaft where the fan belts are. So let's say the timing mark is right here. I point that at the timing mark. Again, the problem is finding out which cylinder is at top dead center. But according to this article, you start at 1, so we know 1's at top dead center. That's not a problem. But where's the next one? So it says turn this a quarter, then you'll be at 5. Turn it again, you'll be at 4, and so on. 2, 6, 3, 7, 8. So I'm going to check this out. I'm just going to hot glue this on. Oh, yeah, and the crankshaft is spinning clockwise from me standing in front of the radiator. The first time I marked it wrong. So it turns clockwise. So I was numbering it this way, going clockwise, but no, that's wrong. You gotta remember it going counterclockwise because, watch this arrow. It's spinning this way, so the next number that's gonna come up is 5. The next number that's gonna come up is 4. So this is 6-inch, that's what the pulley is. I just used a square and yeah, I got something else here. It's like a whistle. So we're gonna screw that in. I'm gonna crank it. Okay, I'm on number 2 and the whistle went off. So what does that mean? Let me keep going. So that's 1. Let's do it one more time. I don't know if you could hear that whistle. So I think the whistle started when the piston was coming up. So right now it's at number 1. I'm just trying to figure out if this works. So the next one should be number 5. So I'm gonna move this whistle over to number 5. If 5 goes off, we know this works. Yeah, I'm gonna screw this into number 5. I think the piston should be coming up. So here we go. It works. Yeah, it works. That's 5. That cardboard works. So anyway, we know it works. So we're gonna put this back in number 1. I think the piston has to be on top dead center to do a leak down test. So I'm trying to find top dead center. So we'll just do it one more time. I'm just gonna read off my numbers. So that should be number 4, 2, 1, wrong stroke. So let's get to the right stroke. There we come. You can see my 1, and you get back at the pointer, not the mark on the damper. So I'm a little past. I'm just going to turn it. Okay, that's it. 1. So when I did my compression test, but number 2 was 70. So I'm just going to skip 1, and I'm just going to go to 2. I mean, that's really close. There's the pointer. Okay, I got a problem. This was the spark plug that was stripped. I fixed it, the spark plug hole. It's not quite centered. I mean, a spark plug will go right in, but it hits this. I can't that little extra thickness, I'm gonna have to grind this down. But when I put it in there, it's hitting this edge right here. See how that hole's off center? It's hitting on the bottom down below. 20% is low leak. Yellow is moderate leak. I'm almost on red, which is high leak. It's coming out of here and here. I'm gonna do the same test on one of the 120. So I was on number 2. I'm in between 5 and 4. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Did the compression turn that? So I'm gonna hook this up again and watch the camera and see if it turns. So I gotta hook the whistle up, find out where I am, and then I'll do it all over again. Okay, I wanna show you something here. So right now it's in the number 1 cylinder, top dead center. I'm gonna zoom in, but at the same time, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna turn that pulley and see if it's on dead center. If it's not, this should change. Keep your eye on the needle on the orange and watch me turn the fan. It did push it right off compression. I mean, I'm really holding this. I don't want to get killed here with this fan. I'm gonna go a little bit more. So if you want to know if you're on top dead center, I'm gonna try to turn a little bit more. That is definitely top dead center. Now I'm gonna let go of this fan. It turned a quarter. I'm gonna do that one more time. I can't because this pulley is slipping. Joe, and he made this whistle. So when I'm doing the compression test, it's just a piece of pipe with a slot cut in it. So there's a piece of wood stuck in there with a little bit of air can go by it, and then it hits this, and I guess that's what causes the whistle. I guess the air going up. And the rubber hose has a notch. The rubber hose has a notch in it also. So that's the whistle you're going to see me using. So this is a snap-on compression tester. You put one end into the spark plug hole, and then just tighten it up because the rubber seal on here. You don't have to tighten it real tight, just tighten it until it's snug. And if it leaks, you'll hear it and tighten it a little bit more. Then you hook your air hose to this. On here, there's graduations, 80%, 60%. So this means 100. If it's right there, it's 100% leak. 80%, 60%. It says low, medium, moderate, high. You hook it up, you turn the pressure up to 100. So this is always going to read whatever the air pressure is coming in, and this is going to tell you how much air you're leaking. So I'm going to draw a drawing. So here's the damper, and here's the pointer. I guess it looks like that with on the engine block. So again, this is in degrees. So my car, my 302, wants to be 10 degrees before top dead center. And by the way, this is spinning clockwise. So clockwise is this way. So that's 10 degrees before top dead center. As this timing mark is spinning, here's TDC. So now this is gonna, as I keep spinning it, it comes down, and this is now gonna be here. So now I'm on top dead center. What I didn't understand is I thought that when you were at top dead center, you would have your highest compression. But that's not true. So it blew my mind. So I went past. So as I had this hooked up, again, the engine's not spinning over. I'm doing it by hand. So when I spun it, when it was at top dead center, it said moderate in one of the good cylinders. But as I kept going, as this kept spinning, so this is top dead center. But as it kept spinning, I was way up here. I was after top dead center. And as I went past, and as the piston was going down, it went up, it got better. The leakage got less. I didn't understand that. So the point I'm showing, that I didn't see this in any other videos, so here's the piston. Here's top dead center. So as the piston comes up, now we're at top dead center. I was in moderate. But as the piston started going down, so now the piston's going down after top dead center. Well, let me just change that a little bit. So here's top dead center, here's after. The compression was actually the highest down here. I didn't get that. And so you're actually, the highest compression is 25 degrees past TDC. That's it. The other thing, if you're doing a compression test, as the piston goes up, the pressure will go up, like I was saying. So when you're doing a compression test, you're cranking the engine. So you're going around and around and around. So you never stay at top dead center, like I was saying. So at 25 degrees past, it hits the highest compression. And you do it like 5 or 10 times. Just do every cylinder the same. There's a little valve here that'll bleed off the air. So on your next test, push that. Also, there's these adapters for different size spark plugs. So here's a carburetor. This is the exhaust pipe. This is the radiator. Here's the piston. Here's the head. And again, this is just one section of the engine. So the idea of the compression test, the leak down test is, and here's some rings. So the idea of the leak down test is, where is the leak going to? So if it's going to, okay, and then one more picture. Here's the engine. We'll just call this a valve cover. Maybe that's where you put the oil in. So if the rings are bad, the air is going to leak back down into the engine. And you're going to hear it coming out of the valve cover. Now, one of the ways you can check the rings is stop, squirt some oil in the spark plug hole. Again, this is just an exaggerated picture. Put some oil in. The oil will go around this temporarily, and if the compression goes up, it's probably the rings. The other way it could leak, again, this is the head. It could be that your valves are stuck. They could be stuck open, they could be broken, they could have carbon. But on your leak down test, if the air is leaking out of the intake, you'll hear it coming out of the carburetor. Now, if there's no air coming out of the carburetor and the rings are good, I mean, let's say you put oil in here and it doesn't change. It could be the exhaust valve. So now the exhaust valve, the air is escaping through your tailpipe and coming out. The other thing, I mean, there's other things that could be happening. It could be a cracked block, a cracked head. It could be the gasket. So if you got a leak in your gasket, let's just say that's a break in the gasket. It could get into a water jacket. The air could get into the water jacket and come up in your radiator, and the air could be coming out of your radiator. So when I did my test, it sounded like it was coming out of the carburetor and out of the valve cover. So again, I'm doing this for fun. I'm gonna get a smoke tester, put smoke into the spark plug, and see where the smoke comes out. It's either gonna come out the carb, the exhaust pipe, the valve cover, or the radiator. Or maybe it'll come out of everywhere. Maybe the smoke won't come out of the radiator. Maybe it will, I don't know. Can smoke go through water? So that's what this video is about. Okay, so now we're gonna take this choke off, and I'm gonna see if I can figure out why is this thing stuck open. First off, we just want it not to be stuck open. That's where we're gonna start. If you watch the other video, when I put the other carburetor on off Amazon, it was idling too high. It was idling at 3,000. Okay, so we'll take the choke off. Get this retaining cover. But my guess is right now that this choke was put on wrong. Somebody had turned this clockwise, and it was always open. So, yeah, another thing I just noticed is this gasket under the choke is busted. And so I put this choke back on. I can't, the screws are loose, I can't even turn it. And it's kind of weird, but I had to sand this thing down all the way around this edge and file those three tangs. Now it goes on. Let's see if this hot air choke works. Spring is moving. I don't know if I showed it. I was playing around with this choke trying to get it to work because, I mean, it works now. You can see that. Okay, I don't know if I showed it all, but I got this choke working. Somebody had turned the choke, they had turned it all the way lean, which means opening this butterfly. And I was trying to figure out why. I think there's two reasons. One, it was a hot air choke that went down to the exhaust manifold. There's nothing there. There's nothing really to heat it up. So then I took this off to check. Anyway, I took it off. I found out it was all the way open. But then I went to put it back on, and then I noticed this gasket was broken or missing. Also, when I went to put it back on, either this plastic had expanded or this metal right down in here had corroded, but I had to grind this whole thing down all the way around, clean up these, so then it would go on. If not, I couldn't turn it. Again, these videos are weird because I start not knowing what I'm doing and I just keep working at it till I figure it out. But you can see the choke is working now. So 1, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, 7, 8. It's spinning the crankshaft clockwise and standing in front of the radiator. But while I was at it, I was wondering about the valves. The valve adjustment. And this is kind of weird. So when you're on number 1, top dead center, you can adjust exhaust valves 1, 2, 4, 5, and intakes 1, 3, 7, 8. Then you rotate it 360 where 6 comes up. And then you can do exhaust 3, 6, 7, 8, and intake 2, 4, 5, 6. So I just find it curious that the two that are bad are on the same side. Here's 2, I'm on the passenger side, and here's 4. I'll take off the valve cover and just see if there's something going on with these valves. See if I can see anything with the tappets. So I got these number markers. I'm going to mark the spark plug wires. Anyway, I marked all the spark plug. The reason I did this because I took them off once and I couldn't remember. And there's number 1 on the distributor cap. And then I marked them on this end too. Anyway, before I go any further with this engine, I just want to make sure that these are the 2 bad cylinders. $70, $89. So I just want to make sure that the valves are moving. Because I have the time right now, I think I'm going to take this carburetor apart and see if I can rebuild it. I mean, I can't soak it, but I can just make sure all the passages are clean. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, but it can't be that hard. Okay, that's it. There's really not that many pieces to this. Every hole is cleaned out. This is cleaned out where it was plugged up before. Okay, I'm adding this into this video. I lost the audio and a lot of the video, but there's really simple carburetor. Basically, you just go over the terms in a second. You just replace maybe that ball bearing. Mine was good. That gasket, float, little needle and seat assembly, accelerator pump. You're going to replace that little rubber piece you'll see in the video, and this diaphragm, valve enrichment. You're going to replace that, the gasket, go in from the bottom, your needle adjustment screws. There's no new pieces for that. Just clean up the very tip. If it has any grooves in it, it's probably bad. But I just cleaned it up. So one more time, I'm going to replace this gasket, clean this out on mine. On mine, one of these Venturi's was plugged up. The gasket, the ball, maybe. Make sure, I guess the bottom line is, this is the most simple carburetor in the world. Just clean up, blow out every hole, and when you pull your parts apart, set them in order. See the way the picture is? Just set them on a table in that order. And in the end, the most complicated piece for me was this float. There's a spring that's not shown in this picture here. So really pay attention when you take this apart. And this piece right here, different sizes that come in kit. I didn't pay attention when I took that apart. Besides that, it is so simple. You don't need to take the choke off. There's some instructions. It talks about setting the auto screw, but I think I talk about that later. Also on this page, it gives you your float adjustment. I think I show a picture of that. All right, that's it. Just watch what I have left that I saved.
Hey, what up, girl? How you doing? I don't want to come on too strong or nothing like that, but I've been thinking about you. And I've been wondering where you lay up. Where you at? So, sure. Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you do it? That thing you do. Follow you blindly, I'll be your fool. Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you do it? That thing you do. Follow you blindly, I'll be your fool. Cinderella, yeah. I think I'll find your glass slipper, baby. Cinderella, yeah. I think you found your prince charming in me. Yeah. I don't know much, but I do know that I'm feeling you. Hope that one day, maybe someday you'll be feeling me too. Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to?
And by the way, if you look really close under magnifying glass, this one says 50 and this one says 50. Or maybe it says 80, I can't, my eyes are getting old. But the point I'm making is, don't assume if you have like 20 carburetors that they all have the same jets. Like this is, and I noticed one of them had a little bit of stuff in it. Because I didn't clean these before. That's 7/16. You can't tell from this angle, but it is. Oh yeah, one more thing. There's 2 gaskets that came in here. So I couldn't remember which one, but I kept my old one, so it's that one. So don't throw away your parts. Yeah, I caught a mistake. This spring right here, you probably can't even see it. You see the way they're kind of working together? This piece is gonna clip over this. You see that? Also in the package, there came 2 of these. One is deeper than the other. When you first look at it, you go, well, why is that? It's because from the center of that to that nut is longer than the other one. Anyway, there it is. Took me a while to figure it out. Okay, I got the carburetor all back together. So just for the heck of it, I'm gonna put this back on. But I need an electric choke, so I'm gonna take it off of here. Put it over here, I think it'll work. Okay, I got the 2 chokes off. It won't work, and this is why. The problem is, this spring is up higher. This spring is down lower. Try to put this choke on there, this spring hits here. On this carburetor, that piece is offset inside. I don't know if you can see it. So here's the 289 that originally came in the car. It's got a Holley carburetor. Here's electric choke. And it grounds to there. So there's 3 different chokes here. They're all the same. They all fit on the right size this way. So this is the one that came off of the Amazon, which works there. This is the one that came off of here, which is not electric. And this is the one that came off the Holley. This one will work, except, watch the choke butterfly. Right there, this cap gets real sticky. And I fixed it by grinding down these. I finally figured out a way to set this choke cold. I'm twisting it colder and then let go. That's cool. That's right where it wants to be. Right where it bounces back. These jets. You see the way they're barely sticking out? This one runs really good, so I'm just going to set this one the same, just barely sticking out. Yeah, one more problem with using the Harley choke. These screws are tightened down. It still turns. I think this Harley washer is a little bit thicker. I panicked. I turned the key off and it didn't go off, and the throttle was stuck wide open, but I don't know why. So what I did is I pulled the distributor wire loose. Throttle plates on the bottom, they're wide open. It blew this off. It blew the power steering. I found that over there. I had the spring up here like an idiot. It should have been down here. So I was pulling the throttle wide open. This is the white wire from the alternator. I hooked that up. But I read there's a diode in here. It's supposed to prevent that from backfeeding. But I got a fuse, so I can just take this fuse out. And if it happens again, I'm just going to pull this battery off. Yeah, it's Saturday about, I don't know, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I just had a runaway engine. I never had that before. I kind of panicked. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't think. It just went full throttle. I don't know how long it lasted. I'll know when I watch this video. It seemed like an hour. It was probably 10 seconds, but it was wide open for 10 seconds. Yeah. I also rebuilt the carburetor. That's what I'm running right now. I put on the new carburetor. I put on the rebuilt carburetor. Took the choke off of Holly and some other stuff I can't even remember. I'm still pumped up. Anyway, engine stands are great.